I was reading an article today about Angie Stone being arrested for what I call house management. What is house management, Teapot? Well, let me tell you. So, Angie Stone has a daughter who's a little bit angry about the fact that her mother had a job that caused her to be on the road. And when she was growing up, the little girl had to go live with her grandparents. And she's angry about that. Now, to some extent, I get it because you want to be with your mom and your dad. What I don't get is your mom wasn't out in the streets prostitute. She wasn't out in the streets just out in the streets. She wasn't out in the streets a drug head. She was out in the streets working. You can't be mad at your mom for working. So you can't be mad at your mom and then ask for an iPhone. You can't be mad at your mom and want a Lamborghini for your 16th birthday. You can't do that when she's working to get you those things. But anyway, so Angie came home probably from work, probably, she probably came home from work. And the article says she came home and her grandchildren, her daughter's children, was running around half naked, half cocked, and half crazy. And you know how sometimes your house can be so loud and so crazy that as you turn the corner to hit your block, you know it's your house making all that noise. You know it's your house with all them people out in front of it. Because it's your house that's always on jump. So she probably walked in like, this shit again. I'm so sick of this shit. These grandkids run around here looking like they nuts, like they don't belong to nobody. And then the article said Angie went into her daughter's room. Now, see, I found that to be hilarious. Because in my mama's house, I didn't have a room. My mama let me use a room in her house, but I didn't have a room. Because I used to be like, Ma, you can't just bust in my room like that. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. You don't have a room. When you get a room that I can't bust in, you let me know. So I don't know how you could be 30 with kids that are half naked, half cocked, and half crazy, and you don't have a place of your own. Where is everybody sleeping? Because if you in that bedroom with all them kids, I can't stand that living on top and sleeping on top of each other. This ain't no slave house. You ain't got to be 4 and 5 to a bed. But she walked into her daughter's room and she said, you need to clean this mess up. But what she was really saying is, you've been on your ass bone all day. You done ran up my water bill, ran up my light bill, ran up my cable bill. You done run up the electricity. You done run up my phone bill. You done ate up all my food. This house is dirty. The floor ain't got the vacuum lines in it. It's dishes in the sink. The toilet got a ring around it. The bathtub got a ring around it. And you sitting here on your ash bone, not doing nothing, entertaining people. You brought a friend to the house, entertaining somebody, eating up my potato chips and shit. That'll set somebody off. It really will. You got your kids, grandkids running around half naked, half cocked, half crazy. You up here in my room, dirtying up my room in my house. And then I think what happened, because the article said that Angie picked up a metal pole and bashed her daughter's teeth in and knocked them clear down her throat. I think what happened is that I think they got into an argument and that daughter said, bitch. And sometimes you could be called a bitch 2 or 3 times out of the day and it won't even phase you, depending on who's saying it, depending on how they saying it. But I think her daughter said, bitch. And Angie probably said, no, this bitch didn't. I know this bitch didn't just call me a bitch up in my mother. So that's what I think happened. And before, I can never imagine calling my mother outside of her name. Now, the furthest smart mouth I get is I call her by her first name. That's as smart as I ever get. That's as smart as I've ever gotten. And even then, I have to be careful when I even use her real name. And I have to, a cuss word in my house is Ma. Me and my oldest brother say that. Ma. That's the closest we can get to calling our mother outside of her name. So I think that's what happened because the article said Angie turned without a mumbling word and picked up some. Angie herself said, I don't even remember picking up nothing metal. Next thing I know, my daughter's teeth was knocked down her throat, and she was calling the police. Can you imagine the phone call when she called the police? 911. Ma'am, are you needing fire, emergency, or police? My motherfucking teeth have been knocked down my motherfucking throat, and I need a motherfucking ambulance and the police. Ma'am, you sound like you got cotton balls and marbles rolling around in your mouth. Can you slow up a little bit? Are you hurt yourself? I just can't even imagine. Let me tell you something. I remember one time I told my mother that I was going to call the police one time when she was hitting on me. She picked up the phone and dialed 9-1. Say, here, dial the other one. Oh! Serious. Like, I was like, oh, she is not playing. This woman is crazy. So I can imagine when her daughter picked up that phone and called that 911 and called on her mother. Let me tell you what you can't do after that. You can't stay in my house. I don't give a flying cat how many kids you got. You and your kids, you and your bundles of joy, all have to get the hell up out of Dodge. Now I tell you, I think the only mistake that Angie made, because I don't have no problem with her knocking her daughter's teeth down your throat. If you don't like it, move your 30-year-old ass out of my motherfucking house. But I think the only thing that I wouldn't have done if I was Angie is I wouldn't have done it in DeKalb County in Georgia. Because you know when you go to jail in DeKalb County, you might be in there for 3-4 months before they even know they got you. I mean, they lock you up in DeKalb County. You can't even get a speeding ticket in DeKalb County and stay less than a month. So that's the only thing. I think the R&B Divas is getting ready to start back up again. And it's going to be without Angie Stone. It's going to be her daughter's fault.